Hey guys, I am going to be reading My Name is Brian by Jeanne Betancourt. Just like I promised, I'm going to start with chapter 1 because I know it's been at least a month since I've met with you all, and so you may have forgotten what's happened. So I'm just going to start with chapter 1, and I'll have a different recording for every chapter. That way you can just go through and jump ahead. If you remember chapters 1, 2, and 3, I think some of my classes I got through that, but if you didn't, then you can just jump ahead to the video that you want to watch for each chapter. There are 11 chapters, so I'll have 11 different videos of me reading. So, okay, you remember we talked about the cover of the book and what we thought was happening and what we thought the setting was and the character and what we thought might be happening in the book by the title. Chapter 1, The Joker's Club. School starts tomorrow. I hate school. I look around the Joker's Club hideout and wish like crazy that it was the first day of summer vacation again. Today, vacation is officially over for the Joker's Club, I tell my fellow club members, Dan, Richie, and John. But we'll still meet here, Dan says, on weekends and after school sometimes. Yeah, I say, but it won't be the same. School's no fun. It's boring. Yeah, Richie says, the pits. Our hideout is the gardener's shed behind the old Colgate mansion. No one has lived in the mansion for years, probably because it's run down and too big for your normal sort of family. One rainy day, we snuck into the main house through a cellar window and walked around the whole place, counting rooms. If you include bathrooms, there are 27 rooms. My grandpa Al says that when he was a kid, the Colgates were the richest people in the whole county. But the gardener's shed, our hideout, is your basic one room, one window, no bathroom shed. Rusty tools like rakes and shovels hang on one wall. A long wooden work table stands along the facing wall. Under the table there's a wheelbarrow and stacks of old clay pots. We hide our sodas and junk food in the pots because you never know when a real estate person might come to the shed to show it to a client. I don't think anyone who's buying a 27-room house will care what the inside of the shed looks like, but you never know. Hey, I've got a great idea, John says. Let's not go to school tomorrow. We'll meet here instead, like usual. Sure, Richie agrees. Why not? Because I can't, I tell them. I gotta go to school. My parents would kill me. My parents are the strictest. Dan's are the next strictest. Richie's comes next. But his mother works late at the supermarket, so sometimes it doesn't make any difference when he gets home. John's parents try to be strict, but he does pretty much what he wants, no matter what they say. Once I heard John yell and swear at his mother. Now John's telling us, you guys are wimps. Gutless wonders, nerd balls. Then he flashes his big, just kidding smile. Okay, he says, if we've got to go to school, let's think of something we can do to make it more fun, besides teasing girls and not doing any work. I'm feeling too depressed about school starting to have any fun ideas about anything. So I just sit there thinking about my friends and waiting for one of them to come up with an idea. John stretched out on the long work table. He's the biggest, baddest, and oldest in our club. He's already 12. He's the strongest, too. Dan's spot in the hideout is near the door, in an easy chair he made out of two bags of sand. Dan's the smallest of the jokers, and the nicest, according to me. He also has the darkest skin of anyone in Sharon, Connecticut, population 2,545. Both his mother and father are African American. There are only 3 black kids in our school, and Dan is one of them. The other 2 are his brother and sister. Dan's family moved to Sharon last year. Dan's leaning back in his sandbag chair, looking at the slanted roof of the hideout, thinking. Probably about monsters. Dan loves monster movies, even when they scare him half to death. If it's just the two of us watching, I cover my eyes during the worst parts and say, "Tell me when it's over." But he can watch the whole thing. He also loves to draw and has about 100 drawings of freaky-looking monster characters. Richie, our fourth Joker, sits on a wooden stool. He's a redhead and the skinniest and fastest of my friends. Nobody I know can beat Richie in a race, not even John. Any kind of race, even stupid races, like put the handle of a spoon in your mouth, balance a raw egg on the spoon part, and walk across the schoolyard. Richie always wins. Me, I'm Brian Toomey, and I'm your in-between kind of kid. I'm in between John and Dan height-wise. I'm in between Richie and John sports-wise. My mom says I'm the best-looking boy she knows. But my sister Hillary says I'm the ugliest thing that's ever walked the face of the earth. So I guess maybe I'm in between in the good looks department too. My position in the hideout is on top of 2 bales of hay that are stacked under the window. I'm the lookout who warns the others if someone is coming. Sometimes I hear a noise and signal an alert for everyone to get ready to sneak out. But when I look real hard, I can see the noise is from a deer or a raccoon or some other 4-legged animal. John sits up. "So, who's got an idea?" he says. "If we can't think of something to make school more fun, I'm not going." I wonder what John would do if he didn't go to school. He couldn't come to the hideout alone. That's the first rule of the Jokers Club. No one goes to the hideout unless everyone comes. When Richie visited his cousin in Ohio at the beginning of August, none of us went for a whole week. "Maybe if we had a secret game or something," Richie suggests. John makes a fist and punches the air. "I got it," he says. "We're great jokers, right? Always being funny?" "We try," I say. "Here's what we do. We do funny things in school." "But we do that anyway," I remind him. "That's what we do. We're the Jokers Club." "But we've never kept score before," John says. In the next half hour, we come up with a brilliant plan on how the Jokers Club will work during the school year. I name it Operation JDBR. Besides those letters being the initials of our first names, John, Dan, Brian, Richie, the letters also stand for A Joke a Day Brings Relief. We decide that the joker who makes a joke in school that makes people laugh the most wins points for the day. Here's how the scoring goes. 2 points for the joke of the day, 1 bonus point if the joke is on a girl, but 2 bonus points if the joke is on the girl we hate the most. Isabel Morris. There are 3 rules. Number 1, no jokes like, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" or "Why did the elephant do such and such?" Only real, original, practical jokes. Number 2, no jokes on members of the Jokers Club. 3, scratch your head if you think a joke is the joke of the day for Operation JDBR. An example of a real good joke, John says, is making a hand fart when Miss Olgie leans over. We all like that. "Do we get a girl bonus point since the joke's on her?" Richie asks. "Sure," John tells him. "She's not a guy, is she?" Everyone at Sharon Center School knows that the 6th grade teacher, Miss Olgie, is a pushover. I hope you remember what pushover means. It means you can get away with anything with that person. The principal always has to go into her classroom to get the kids to quiet down. "So what's the prize?" Richie asks, "for getting the most points?" "Money," John says. "Let's make a pot of money, a stash of cash, and divvy it up at the end by how many points we have." "How?" I ask. Dan says that if we divide the amount of money we collect by the total number of points we've won, it'll tell us how much each point is worth. He explains his idea with an example. If there's $200 in the pot and we've won a total of 50 points, then each point is worth $4. John and Richie look confused, but I get it right away. So if a point is worth $4, I say, and I have 10 points, then I make 10 points times $4, which equals $40. After a few more examples, we all understand and agree to each contribute $2 a week to the pot and to divide it during Christmas vacation, when, according to Dan, it will be worth $120. We elect Dan as scorekeeper and John as treasurer. Maybe going to school won't be so bad after all, John says, as we drag our bikes from their hiding places behind the bushes. We put on our helmets and silently bike through the woods to Route 343. As the lookout, I wait until there are no cars coming in either direction before signaling to the others that it's all clear. Then the jokers roll onto the highway and pedal toward town, chanting out the initials of our new operation, JDBR, JDBR, JDBR. That's the end of chapter 1.